Christopher is a former bike racer and photographer who's now a metalworker. Chris, his roommate in Brooklyn, New York, is a theatre director. But a year ago, they took a break from their jobs and went to Syria to fight the Islamic State.
Hey, Nugget.
He will attempt to make himself the center of attention. That's kind of what he does.
Someone reading Hamlet?
You'll see it's inscribed from a comrade of ours. He found it in rubble in Raqqa.
How did reading Shakespeare go down in Syria?
It's fine, I read the whole canon. I read every single one of them, and the sonnets and all of them.
What does your life look like now? What are you guys doing?
I get up very early, and I walk my dog, and I go to work. I think it looks suspiciously like a normal life.
Sounds pretty normal to me.
But girls, they wanna have fun. Oh.
Official American involvement in Raqqa was limited to airstrikes and small teams of elite special forces. But a socialist Kurdish militia group, the YPG, which was doing a lot of the fighting on the ground, welcomed far less experienced fighters from abroad.
But there's a bunch of internationals here, which is great. I've met a lot of people that are really cool.
Including Chris and Christopher, who first met in the YPG's ranks. Christopher says he knew of 3 entire units of foreigners fighting for the YPG.
Shaheen, who is smoking while running right now.
Over dinner, we asked the 2 Brooklynites to justify why they decided to fight for a non-state actor in a foreign war.
How do you go about doing it?
You Google it. That's all you have to do.
Yeah.
It's like the first result. First of all, you have to apply. When I expressed interest, when I wrote that email, they sent back a questionnaire asking about my political beliefs, my past. They said, you will be fighting in the bloodiest war on the planet. Be sure that you are committed to this.
Going over there for 6 months out of a 7-year-long civil war that continues to grind on, is that not more hassle for the YPG versus help?
It was good for them for propaganda. It was good for them ideologically to demonstrate that there is international solidarity, and that doesn't just come from the coalition and their bombers.
They want us to survive. They want us to have seen what they're really doing and to
Talk about it on American television.
That's our real contribution, much more than a military way.
So Jihad, what are in your magazine pouches? This one has a combat application tourniquet and a Kalashnikov magazine. These are hand grenades, and this one has Skittles.
Had you held a gun before going out there?
I was a Boy Scout. People in my family have had guns my whole life. Firearms weren't unfamiliar to me. Yikes.
What were you actually doing out there? What did day-to-day life look like?
You're in a position, and Dash is there, and maybe they're in this building there, and you're in this building there. Someone at all times has to be watching those other buildings, looking out through a little hole in concrete with sandbags around you. Every once in a while, something happens, and there's a firefight, there's an airstrike, there's something going on. Most of the time, it's super boring.
They see them with the scopes. These guys see them.
How many people did you kill?
I don't know.
You don't know if you hit anyone?
Right. So everything in front of you is Dash. And you see a window pane move, so you start to pay attention to it. The next time it closes, you put 3 bullets through it. It doesn't open again. Did you kill anybody?
What about you?
It doesn't matter to me whether I killed anyone or not. I went there to help win a war, and that is incidentally often done by killing people, but I didn't go to kill anyone.
How much of the Battle of Raqqa were you guys there for?
2 or 3 months, the end. I was in the city when, the liberation was announced, when the Dash surrender occurred.
I stood on that ground that had been a slave market for women. I saw those cells where they had tortured people, and we collectively stopped that.
I'm gonna have to wear my belt. Oh, you're a saint. Thanks, buddy.
Today, well into the war's 7th year, almost all the YPG's foreign volunteers have gone home or been killed. Christopher and Chris left Syria after the battle in Raqqa just before Christmas last year.
What was it like coming back through US security? Is it really that easy to just go to Syria for a few months and then pop back?
I walked into the United States. They stamped my passport. They said, welcome home.
They didn't ask you where you'd been?
Nobody asked at all.
So far, the US government hasn't taken any action against the returned YPG volunteers. The Department of Justice told Vice News that it would have to review each individual case before determining whether anyone broke the law, but called travelling abroad to fight, quote, a really bad idea, and said, we strongly discourage it.
Why? Why did you head over there?
I found out about the Rojava Revolution when Rolling Stone published an article about international volunteers. I believed in the political and social goals that they were, trying to structure their new society around. And also, Daesh is objectively the bad guy. The only reason that I personally wouldn't go would be cowardice.
Was it not also because it sounded like an adventure? Looked like fun?
Not really.
Was the prospect of being a hero?
No. I mean, I was totally...
There was no part of you that was like, this will be fun, this will be an adventure. This will be something that I'll think about for the rest of my life.
No, I thought I might die.